Welcome to the U World Order Showcase Podcast. Your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist. Couldn't be more excited to have you join us today. On this podcast, we celebrate the champions of change, the up-and-coming life, health and transformational coaches who are fearlessly stepping forward to make a difference in the world. Get ready for inspiring stories, practical tips, and powerful moments that will motivate you to make a positive change in your life and those around you. We're happy to have you join us on this incredible journey as we dive into the world of life, health, and transformational coaches who are lighting up the path towards a better tomorrow.
Hi, and welcome to the U World Order Showcase Podcast. Today on this mini episode, we're talking with Kenny Cannon, and he is going to share with us the one secret to closing deals. Go ahead, Kenny. Tell us all about it.
First of all, thanks, Jill, for having me. So I've been selling for 25 years. My whole entire life, since I was 15 years old. And there's really 6 things when it comes to closing a deal that you need to know. And the first thing is definitely qualified prospects. If you are not talking to people who have a want, need, and desire for what it is you're offering, they have the ability to pay you and they have the authority to say yes or no, make a decision, you're wasting your time. As long as you have a qualified prospect on the phone in the room, then it comes down to 5 things. Number 1, finding a reason why they're there. Number 2, the current situation, like what they're currently doing to solve whatever problem they have. So if it's like, maybe they need a new car or whatever, what are they currently doing to look for a new car? Are they going to other dealerships? You're looking online, whatever it may be. After that, you want a future pace. So like the future pacing is like the perfect situation they could be in after it's over, right? So if it's a car or a house or whatever, like what would that look like for them 3 months out, 6 months out, whatever. And then after that, we want to link that together with customizations. This is a little confusing, so I want to kind of explain this really quick. So when we're linking it together, basically what we're doing is we're linking the current situation to not doing the offer, and we're linking the future situation, the good stuff, to doing whatever it is that we want them to do. And then after we get that link together, we customize it up and then we close the deal.
Wow, that only took you like 60 seconds.
Well, I could go in much deeper on all of those, as you know, probably, but
I do
that's pretty much
know.
the process from start to finish.
And it works really well, especially if you have a qualified prospect on the phone, or you're talking to a qualified prospect. That is the most important.
And what's great about that process is that it works in literally anything. Like all the way from like a pack of gum to like $1 million mansion. It's all the same process because it's all based on status and experience, right? So current situation is why they called you. Their current situation is bad. So if we link the current situation to not doing what we want them to do or the offer or whatever, and we link that future pace that they want, like 6 months out, 3 months out, whatever, as long as we link those two together, they're going to buy pretty much every single time.
And let's talk about the offer for just a second.
Yep.
How important is it to know what you're selling?
Ooh, that's a tricky question. I'm not a big product knowledge guy.
Okay.
It's just not because I sold cars for 18 months and I didn't know anything about cars. I didn't know anything about the cars that I was selling. I sold stock for 6 years. I didn't know anything.
But you knew they were cars and they had wheels.
And So like what I would do is I would open up the door and I'd be like, oh, it has power windows and door locks. It has a radio. Like I didn't know. I sold Hyundais and I'm not even exaggerating. 18 months. I didn't know the difference between an Elantra and a Sonata. Those are 2 separate models. I couldn't pick them out in the lot. I had no idea. So
you knew that the offer was a car.
Yes. Well, that's important.
The details of the car are like the features of your product.
Right. So here's the way that I like to put it, right? The thing that you need to know and what you need to get across to your prospect is that whatever it is you're doing is going to get them the result that they want, right? So when I talk about product knowledge, what I'm talking about is like we need to know as an example, we need to know that when we step on the brake, it's going to stop, but we don't need to know how the braking system works. Right? That's the big difference, right? So you need to know that the result's going to get there. You have to get that to the customer, but you don't need to explain to them everything about how you're going to do that. That you're going to get them there. That's pretty much it. So that future pace, you just got to show them that you're going to get them to that place. And then everything else, as long as you do that the right way, then you're pretty much good to go.
Exactly. In my worldview, you need to know what your offer is. And by offer, I mean, what problem are you solving for this person? Because if you don't know what problem you're solving, then you're lost from the beginning. Like
I agree with 100%. So like I said, you need to know the result that you're going to get them, and you need to be able to prove that you're going to get that result. The problem that I have with product knowledge is this, because I've trained a lot of salespeople, right? So the problem that I have with product knowledge is that you'll have a book that looks like this, right? That's filled with all the stuff about what they're selling. And what they'll do is they'll study that material thinking that it's going to get them better at closing deals when it's not, because all that stuff is pretty much useless. Like I said, the car is a perfect example, or light switch. We don't need to know electrical work to figure out how we just turn it on and we get the light, right? So when we're selling stuff, we want to think about it that way. Like, just how am I going to get that result? Not like all the gritty little details, just how I'm going to get the result. And that's it. If we get into too many details, what ends up happening is we create objections for ourselves, right? And that's why, like, again, just focus on the result and prove it to them and you'll be good. Perfect.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Kenny. And if you guys got value out of this, I encourage you to go and listen to Kenny's. He's the first episode I ever did with the You World Order Showcase podcast. And for that, I'm very grateful to you, Kenny. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the You World Order Showcase podcast. We hope you've enjoyed hearing from our incredible life, health, and transformational coaches who are making a profound impact on the world. Remember, change begins with you, and you have the power to transform your life and the lives of others. If you want to take that next step and unlock your true potential, visit thecoachesalchemist.com, where you can find the 3 ways we can help you for free to spin your talent into gold with clarity, a system, and a plan. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an inspiring episode. And if you enjoyed today's show, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us reach more people with our positive message. Stay connected with us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and upcoming guest announcements. You can find us on Facebook at the You World Order, or simply visit thecoachesalchemist.com.